instructional personnel. We're going to sit down and we're going to go through SC Satchel together, and we're going to go through these new special education courses so we can figure out what is the best way to map these new courses, map the old courses to the new courses. Something else that I'm working on is to have an import done in PowerSchool. And so I've been working with Jade Lindler, who's with DDGG, and we're trying to find the best way to get that done. So within the next, I expect to be able to update you all about that. And that's really more for PowerSchool. But what it does, what it will allow us to do is to be able to take these courses, these 170 courses, have them already in PowerSchool so that when it's time for the counselors and the PowerSchool administrators to add those courses to a particular school or particular district, it'll be an easier process. So we're working behind the scenes to get that done for you so that these will be in place for 25, 26, and also for your schedules this year. I think very quickly, so we have a new course code. Our course code database is now housed in a new location, and it's called SC Satchel. And I debated whether or not to go and to show this to you, but I don't want to frustrate anybody because we don't really have the time to sit and go through it. But I've made 3 videos on SC Satchel, and what I'll do, I'll send it, Sarah, if you don't mind, I'll forward you the videos. And then if you could forward it to all of those who are in the call today.
Okay.
And then, so at least you can see what the courses, you can see what SC Satchel looks like. And what I may do is make one more video that talks about how to pull out the special education courses. So I have 3 that I can just forward to you once we get off the call, and then I'll do another one to share with you. And again, for those PowerSchool administrators who attended the South Carolina Student Data Conference a couple weeks ago, they've already signed up for training. So if those of you who want to be trained, I've been coming out to districts to review SC Satchel and to review the special education courses. Just shoot me over an email. I probably should have given you that, Sarah. My email address is nivery, that's NIVERY @ed.sc.gov. Send me over an email and I will find some time to coordinate with you, the special ed coordinator, and with the PowerSchool administrator at CTE and the instructional curriculum person at your district office so that we can arrange an individualized training and data review for your districts. So I know that was a lot. I didn't want to go over my time. So there's other people presenting. I don't know, are you opening up for questions, or are there any questions in the chat box? Or
There are, Nicole. And
okay.
so I was going to say, so a couple of people wanted to know how can we find out if our district has scheduled training with you, and we've not been made aware. And then a couple of other people said you named our district, but they are not aware of your scheduled visit.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you know what? Just send me an email. I think that'll be the quickest way to communicate and say, hey, I want training, or hey, you name my district. What day is the training? So I'm going to Newberry tomorrow, Anderson 5 on whatever day after tomorrow. Next week, it's Clarendon, Dillon, and Horry. So if I call those 3 districts, just shoot me an email and I'll give you the date. Monday is Dillon, Tuesday is Horry, and Wednesday of next week is Clarendon. I think I got that right. So if you have any questions, please send me an email, nivery@ed.sc.gov. And anybody else who may want training, and remember, I'm going to the district to review data, but if you just want to just call me and say, you know what, just let's talk about the courses, help me to explain, I'll be willing to do that. We don't have to set a formal time aside. I mean, if we can just set 30 minutes or an hour together, if you want me to just walk you through SC Satchel, you know, we can do that, but just send me over an email. It doesn't have to be as formal as some of the other trainings are. So we can do that as well, because I know it's hard to get everybody in the same room together at the same time. But these are very big changes that we made, and I want to make sure that I've put myself out and made myself available, which is why I'm here and I'm there. And I don't want anybody to say that they didn't know or didn't have an opportunity to get the information that they need. So whether it's a formal training or whether it's us on the phone or just doing a one-on-one, I'm very amenable to doing that as well.
Thank you, Nicole. I did put your name and email address over in the chat. Another question asked, we are doing the IGPs for high school already. Should we start using the new codes for the 25-26 school year?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely,
Okay.
which is why we're trying to get this over to you because I know it's that time to actually do those meetings. So yes,
Okay. A
please
couple
go
of
ahead
people,
and
sorry.
yeah, go ahead and we're going to use these course names and course codes for the 25-26 school year.
Okay. A couple of people expressed their concerns that it will be extremely problematic, that many of these courses have the same course names as general education courses already
Mhm,
being used.
mhm,
So they said that. Another person asked, does the Dillon
mhm.
visit include both Dillon 3 and Dillon 4?
It is, you know, I'm sorry for my ignorance. I feel like I'm going to say something very ignorant. I thought they had, I thought the Dillons were one now. Um, you know what? Send me an email and I'll confirm which Dillon that it is.
Okay. Let's see the next one. Let's see. Are there courses for behavior skill classes for diploma track kids?
So no, this is not for diploma track students at all. If you want a behavioral course, I think that would be what you would use your LBA, continue to use your LBA. There was a
Okay.
question about a concern that the course names are the same as, and I think that was
Yes.
intentional. English language arts, or English one, um,
Yes.
yes, that they are, and that's not a bad thing. The course codes are different, but the objective was to make sure that the special education students' courses, um, that they didn't appear that they were anything other than what the course that was being taught. You never wanted to be able to say that this course is a lesser than course, a course for special needs students based on the course title. And so for years, for the 10 years that I've been here and been working with courses, I've always preached this. If a student in your special education classes is receiving instruction in English, then name the course English. The difference is we relied on districts to name the courses because we had a lot of disabilities in course names over the years, and we've gotten away from that. So this isn't anything new. The only difference is instead of relying on the course names to come from the district, the names are coming from the state level. So that's not an issue that the course names for a special ed course and a course name for a gen ed course would be the same because the
Thank
course
you.
codes will be different.
Okay.
Mhm.
Kristen Wilson, I'm sorry, you have your hand up?
Yeah. With all due respect, I understand that most certainly we do not want designators on a course that call that course special education. However, the reality of when students are transferring between districts or even transferring within schools inside of a district, calling a non-Carnegie unit for an English 1 credit class, English 1, mistakes are going to be made. And students are going to get enrolled in the wrong courses when transfers occur. And I'm just speaking to the realities of the world for
Mhm.
individuals who work in school districts.
Mhm.
And I think there are many people on this call that will agree with me.
Mhm.
This is going to be problematic.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
just reality. I mean, we have mistakes right now when students are enrolled in co-teaching and the course name is the same. So I have grave concerns about the fact that you're naming the course title the exact same thing because, like I said, the reality
Mhm.
of world inside of districts, I get, I make all of our course codes for all of our special education courses in this district, and my folks get a manual at the beginning of every year to ensure that those things are updated and aligned with the activity coding manual. But I think that we're in slippery territory by naming courses the same names as Carnegie Unit Earning Classes, because that mistakes are going to be made.
So I do appreciate you. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for your feedback. And I just want you to know that, this isn't a Nicole Ivy project. There were a lot of experts, people who've been doing special education, people who have been doing Power School. We started on this back in 2016, and we've had 3 different task forces. So yes, it has gone through several hands. And we do know anytime that there's something new, there's always a chance for mistakes. And one of the reasons why I'm putting myself out here and making sure that I'm sitting with districts, I'm having webinars, I'm making videos, I'm trying to mitigate that damage as much as possible. I mean, do we stop our progress because there's a fear that there's going to be mistakes made? I do understand your worry, and I know that you have a lot on your plates. I know the Power School administrators have a lot, but I think what we gain outweighs the problems. And you know what? And if there's some chance that we need to tweak some things, that's going to be a conversation that we will have. But let's try to work this as best we can. And if we need to have conversations with the clerks, if we need to go into the schools and do some more professional development with them, that's something that that I'm willing to assist you with. But I do want you to be more open-minded and look at what's going to be what's the bigger picture here. I do. I understand. I know you're all overwhelmed. I know you're overworked. You're doing the jobs of 8 or 9 people. I do understand that. But I think that the problems that we have with our special ed students need to be undone and made better just for their sake. So if we find out down the line that
I have a question.
the course names are just so problematic that we can't get over it, then let's look at this, maybe in a year from now to see whether that's something we need to revisit. But before we try to unravel the work that's been done for the last 7 years, let's just try it out. That's all I'm saying. Let's try it out. And if things need to be adjusted, we can make those adjustments going forward. So I hope you can understand my position as well.
Thank you, Nicole. And we'll, I'll collect the other questions and we can email those to you. And if we need to have you come back for another session, maybe we'll have you come back on the 17th.
I will be happy.
Necessary.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the time.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Okay, let me get back to sharing my screen here. And next up, we have Carolyn and Sandy, and they're going to talk to us about Indicator 18.
This is Carolyn here. Indicator 18 is one of our new compliance indicator that starting with the FY 2023 SPP APR report, we are required to report that information. And basically, long story short, it is a compliance indicator looking at measuring whether findings of non-compliance are corrected within a timely manner. It is basically you're looking to see whether those corrections or non-compliance are completed within a year or whatever that time frame that the state has set to correct the information. Was it completed in that time manner? And our data source is from the SPP APR. It's incorporating findings from our program reviews. It's non-compliance within the special ed database system, dispute resolution, and fiscal. So Indicator 18 will encompass all findings or corrections of non-compliance, if you will, into one report. Next slide, please. It will and it will look redundant because you are and we are reporting this information within the individual indicators itself. And so whatever findings or non-compliance that you have within the respective indicators that you see on the screen, indicator 4B, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then that one other that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Information from those individual indicators will be reported under A for the respective indicator. So whatever is reported as non-compliant for that reporting year will get reported in A. B will encompass other findings, whether it be from program reviews or from the other results indicator. If something is discovered that it's not right, it will be reported under column B. C is looking at, and that's really where you're getting your rating, if you will, because you want to make sure that you have as many corrections completed within that time frame that you are allotted, so that us, as a state are ensuring that we are correcting non-compliance within a timely manner or within the 1 year period. And then section D D is whatever is outstanding. And so we always want D to be 0, but there are sometimes some cases where D, for whatever the reason is, not all corrections are completed within that timely manner. So those will fall into category D. Next slide. Indicator 4B is the highlight of the non-compliance. This verbiage does include A, which is if the district has non-compliance or significant discrepancy, it's a results indicator, so that data is what the data is. However, for B, if there are non-compliance, did the districts have policy, procedures, and practices that contributed to the significant discrepancy? And that's really where 4B, 9, 10, 4B, 9, and 10 really are looking at those policies and procedures, practices that the districts have, that something that they're doing that led to the non-compliance. And I'm going to talk generally here because all of the slides basically say the same thing for indicator 18. So we can go ahead and fast forward through Sarah. This is just a repeat on a smaller scale of the previous table that we saw, looking to pull in the numbers from those individual indicators and adding in those findings that are being or discovered through other avenues, whether it be through a credible allegation or, just us going through and looking or helping with something, and we discover something. That's kind of where that catch-all is. But we'll talk a little bit about that a little later on. You can go to the next slide. All of 4B, 9, 10, 11, 12, all kind of vibes the same way as it pertains to corrections of non-compliance. You can go ahead and move forward, Sandy. We want to make sure that whatever corrections of non-compliance that are pending, that those are completed within that year period. And once again, we are now being required to report this to the federal government as a part of our SPP APR. You can keep going until you get to other findings. Okay, so the other findings, and this is where that catch-all for the B section comes into play. And so if states are, finding issues of non-compliance that are not specific to the other indicator, or findings of something that that is discovered within one of the other results indicator, this is where that is going to go. This is where that information is captured. Long story short, it's a catch-all in case there is a discovery of non-compliance in one of the results indicator. This is how and where we would report that information. This is new right now. There are no additional reporting criteria. All of this is collected from information that we collect here in our office. Our corrections team will be working with the districts on those corrections of noncompliance. So if you have any from the 21-22 reporting year that are still pending or incomplete, you want to make sure that you get those resolved as soon as possible. Because of the corrections of noncompliance, it is a lag data indicator. So the corrections that we will be reporting on in February will be based on the 21-22 reporting year. So if you had corrections of noncompliance or for those particular indicators, or if you had findings from the program review or fiscal findings that have not yet been completed from the 21-22 year, please reach out to Elizabeth Moore and her team to work on getting those corrections completed within that time, within the allotted time frame. So, next slide. And I think that's it. Yep, so that's it.
It is. Thank you, Carolyn.
Sure.
Katie, to talk to us about our
Ed
EdPlan
Plan
SC
SC.
updates. Yes. Oops,
All right,
I'm sorry, I
good
double
afternoon.
clicked.
Oh, I was like, where's my slides? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Surveys went out this morning. I already have 37 completed, which is great. These surveys are going to be used when it comes to looking at translations and some of the other additional questions, and also the parent portal. So if you can get those to me by next Tuesday, December 10th, that would be great. Like I said, I have a big chunk already, and I really appreciate getting that information quickly. I've already been looking at some of the feedback. The eval webinar recording is ready. The Q&A is in its final review. There was 2 items that I wanted screenshots added to before we could send it out. So it'll be going out this week, but I'm waiting on the Q&A, and then I'll send that out. And then Phil did mention that he had updated the list of webinars. So you should find it in there as well, but I included it here. And then our next office hours, they're going to be Tuesday, December 10th, so next week. And there is a link to register for that if you haven't already registered. That's available. And then a memo also went out today. It actually just went out like during this call. And within that, it talks about webinars for end users starting in the new year. Those webinars are going to be similar to the evaluation webinar. The evaluation webinar went really well. We had over 600 participants. And I think it was very beneficial to, those people conducting evaluations and getting some questions answered. So along with that memo, it's just a short video that you can share with end users on accessing Zendesk and the resources that are available in that. So more to come on that. We'll have more information on Tuesday also about advanced reporting webinars that are going to be coming up. The additional office hours, that'll be, those will be monthly starting in 2025. And so we'll have more dates for you and things like that at our next office hours. And that is everything I have. I just appreciate everyone's support and sending me emails when there's issues and keeping me up to date on, what your concerns are and trying to work through everything. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. Next, we have Deanna Parrish. She's going to tell us about CASE. Yeah.
Yes, SECASE is really excited to announce our pre-conference session this year for the South Carolina CEC conference. The session will be held on February the 27th, starting in the afternoon, so 12 to 4. We're super excited to have Dr. David Bateman with us for this session for the pre-conference. He will also stick around the next day to do 2 sessions in regular conference time, but we hope that you join us for the pre-conference session. The registration link was not working, but if you email me or Elizabeth Render, email address and her phone number is on the slide. We can get
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, thanks for letting me know. If you are a member of CASE, it's $100 for this event. If you're not, it's $125. If you need some information about how to join CASE, also reach out to us. There is a registration form if you need that for your district instead of using a credit card that we can give you from CASE. So let us know if you need that instead of registering online. We can provide that for you.
And Deanna, just so that you know, I did upload that form to the Google Drive.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Sarah.
Yep, you're welcome. So while you're right there, why don't you go ahead and do the Academic Alliance updates, if you wouldn't mind, please?
Sure. I did notice that we have one little error here. The December 4th event, the community of practice is not extensive support needs. It's database problem solving. So I'm going to put that link in the chat for the registration. We will have our last evidence-based practice network for this before the new year starts. And we're excited that Chris Douglas from Newberry County will be sharing some new tips to reset for the new year. Please save the date for our upcoming MTSS Summit. This will be in Columbia. We haven't started open registration yet as we're trying to confirm our venue for that, but information will be coming soon. Sarah, I think I have one more slide. And remember, we're here to support you. So if you need any targeted technical assistance to help address achievement for students with disabilities in your schools, please reach out to us. This QR code takes you to information about our co-op. We're glad to have some conversations with you if you're looking to target practices across tiers or systems for sustainability. So we hope to hear from you. Thanks, Sarah. That's all from me.
Thank you, Deanna. Next, we have Stephen Roof. From Basque. Or is there someone else from
Yeah,
Basque who
I
would
am
like
not
to
sure. I was just trying to see if anybody from Bass was on
Okay,
before I jumped in too soon.
okay.
All right, so it doesn't look like anybody from Bass is on, but this is Shannon,
Okay.
contract manager for Bass, and just want to give you a few updates, a few things that Bass has coming up. Of course, if you want to join, if you haven't already, feel free to join their newsletter to keep up to date with all the different things that's coming up in December. But some of the topics that they do have coming up in December, as you can see on your screen, the evidence-based practice to support positive school climate. They are spotlighting Anderson 3. Anderson 3, if you're out there, Leah Burton, the spotlight is on you in December. Creating a classroom teacher matrix, which is a self-paced module. Also, if you subscribe, you can see where those modules are located as well, or either you can go to the BAS website. They also are considering trainings by request, planning considerations for K-12 rural schools, and then any additional resources to add to your toolkit. Again, join the BAS newsletter to keep up to date. They always have a lot of different things going on. Here are also the upcoming events that they have going on in December, some of the different conferences they have going on, and where they will be at. And again, these are just the self-paced modules and the link where you can find those.
Thanks, Shannon. Next is Melissa Griffin.
Hey, Sarah. Okay, so for Skippy, we have coming up in March our Inclusion Unlocked, and that's the preschool inclusion toolbox, how to build and lead a high quality program, and that's going to be a book study. It'll be a 4-part hybrid book study, so participants will read independently in their book, which will be provided to those who are participants, and then also come together to discuss that book and some ideas that they have received from it. So that'll be coming up in March, but you can register by February 3rd, and I will put a link in the chat for that. And then also we have our evidence-based practices and action, a mid-year review. And so this is kind of taking into consideration that we are in the middle of the school year and some things that we can do to, kind of revitalize the classroom and focus on, reteaching current practices and then also generalizing skills and reducing challenging behaviors. So that is available. It also carries recertification credits. I will put the link for that as well into the chat. And that is all that I have for Skippy today. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Melissa. We have Joy Ivester for task. Oh, and Carrie.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can hear you, Joy.
Thank you. I was just looking to see if she's on.
No, you wasn't on mute, and I'm not quite sure what was going on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. I'll be extra quick since I've already taken up time being muted. But so quickly, the Universal, that the statewide transition conference will be held October 19th through 21st. Registration has not gone out yet. But I wanted to go ahead and get that on everybody's calendars. It'll again be at the Hyatt in Greenville. And then also we are going to be providing targeted technical assistance, individualized for performance factors 1 and 9, and that is graduation rate and career readiness. So if you have an interest in prioritizing one or both of those areas, we would love to help you. We're glad to talk with you about what that looks like and kind of meet you where you are. And you can use that link or just reach out to the Transition Alliance at transition@uscmed.sc.edu. Thanks.
Thank you. Peter is back from the state board meeting, so I will, this is just a list that is linked back to your Google folder for some things that are in there. And let me go back to the beginning. Close your eyes so you don't get sick. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Peter, you are up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, Sarah released their data for this year for vacancies, so it has all teacher vacancies, and it does list some of those, as you know, for special education professionals. So this was a slide that I presented at Fall Admin that just took a look at the snapshot that we have based upon that Sarah vacancy data at the beginning of school years. And the good news is that that it's less vacancies in the data that they keep than we showed the prior year. However, you can still see that we're quite a bit above pre-COVID levels. So the post-COVID vacancies and staffing concerns persist. So we're at about the 2022-23 levels as far as vacancies now. So this continues to be an area of need for us, and we know at the state level, if we can provide you guys with some assistance in this area, we're definitely going to try. So over the next year, we intend to spend a good amount of time and effort to try to look at the issues and try to see how we can help both recruitment and retention for special ed teachers and related service providers. So this just captures what Sarah data does include special ed teachers, school psychologists, and speech and language pathologists. So those are the three special education professional areas that they track in their data. So I just wanted to update that since it came out. We're hoping that the NAEP data, the National Assessment of Educational Performance, data should be released in January, and I had a slide on that as well. So hopefully we can update that and give you that information as soon as we get it, January or February. So that's
Good.
all we have.
Thank you. And I did, at the end of the slide deck, I did include December 17th in 2 weeks is our next session. There we go. That's what's in your Google folder. And then our next one is December 17th. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today. And we'll see you again in a couple of weeks.